Hi everyone, and welcome to a short video giving you an overview to CIV4284 traffic systems. So what's this subject about? It's mostly about traffic engineering. What we're trying to do is get you used to the idea of how you might work as a traffic engineer, how you might work in teams, how you might provide written communication, and those sorts of things. But generally speaking, what it's like to be a traffic engineer in professional practice. The subject looks in the first 3 weeks to sort of the larger traffic system elements, and then we move on to individual elements themselves in the next 4 weeks. And we look at a bit of stuff about traffic management in the following 4 weeks, and then there's 1 week on road safety. You would have seen the learning outcomes in the unit guide. I won't bother reading them quite now because you can have a look there, but fundamentally it's about understanding traffic management, understanding traffic networks and how to work as a team, and then some stuff about how to work with community and stakeholders and look at traffic surveys and things like that. This course is using a flipped classroom model. You might be familiar with this sort of model from previous subjects. But basically, the way it works is there is pre-class work to do before each workshop each week. This is all online, and it sort of represents the lecture material, basically. Only we're not delivering it in person; we're delivering it online through a series of short video clips. And then also there might be, discussion forums and things like that as well for you to get engaged with. And then there'll be in-class activities as part of a workshop. So that'll involve, submission of group activities and worksheets and things like that. And then after the workshop, there'll be an opportunity for you to get some feedback. We'll sort of produce another video which will give some general feedback to the entire course about what we sort of saw in the workshop responses and what might be missing and what to look out for and things like that. Here's the unit schedule itself. So we've got the introduction in the first week, and then some guest lecturers from Arup who are coming in to talk about the hierarchy of roads. Again, that'll be a pre-recorded lecture, and then they'll be in the workshop to work with you through some activities. Week 3 is traffic impact analysis, which ties into the first project, which I'll talk about a bit later on. Week 4, public transport again. Guest lecturer is Graham Curry, who will be providing a pre-recorded lecture, and then again in the workshop. Week 5, pedestrian cyclists. Week 6, parking. 7, arterial management. So that's sort of the arterial roads like Dandenong Highway or Kingsway through the middle of the city here in Melbourne. Then we have the mid-semester break. Then we move on to week 8 is trucks, and then week 9 we'll get guest lecturers from Vic Roads who'll be delivering some stuff about local area traffic management, and also how you decide road hierarchies and the new smart roads framework. Week 10 we look at human factors. Week 11 road safety, and then finally some stuff about freeway management in week 12. So the course material, it consists of the textbook and the readings that you'll see in the pre-class activities. That includes the online recordings, and then of course we have some projects which are assessed, and then there's the workshops themselves in which you work in groups to try and get a handle on the material itself. The examinable materials include the required text, which is traffic engineering and management. I definitely recommend that you get your hands on a copy of that book. It's exceptionally good. There are some copies around, and there will be some course notes available on Moodle, but I'd say grab a copy of it yourself. It's a great textbook. Then there's of course the weekly activity workshops, which are examinable. And there's part of that is a small amount for workshop preparation and participation. And then the guest lectures, of course, are also examinable. And then there's some supporting material that it's good to have a look at as well. and you'll probably need to refer to this sort of stuff at various times. So the Austroads guidelines, the Australian standards, and there's various readings that we'll have in the pre-class material as well. As far as assessment, so there's 2 projects, and then the workshop preparation and participation marks, and then of course the final exam. So project 1 will be about traffic impact analysis. It's a major activity of many traffic engineers. So it's all about trying to figure out how much impact that a proposed development will have on an existing road network, and fundamentally whether that new development, be it a big new tower block of houses or a new sporting ground or something like that, whether that development is reasonable and can be reasonably accommodated on the road network, or indeed what might need to be added to the road network to accommodate it. So, you know, new traffic lanes or a new set of signals or something like that. Project 2 ties in with the VicRoads material, and it's more high-level sort of stuff looking at network operations planning. So how do we decide which road should be for which, where we're going to, you know, prioritise cyclists, where we're going to prioritise public transport. And this very much ties into the Smart Roads framework that VicRoads has developed, which we'll be talking about in later weeks. The workshop preparation marks. So how's this assessment work? There'll be some quizzes throughout the course of semester at the start of the workshops. So 5 random weeks there'll be a quiz. Just a sort of a 10-minute quiz, and you need to achieve a pass in this preparation component to pass the workshop participation component as well. Basically, you need to do the reading before you turn up at the workshop, otherwise you won't know what's going on at the workshop, and these quizzes are just a way of trying to encourage you to do that. The workshop participation, what is this? Well, in groups of 4 you'll have a weekly activity. You'll get uploaded onto Moodle prior to the end of the class, and then we'll get you some feedback based on how the assessments and how clear your explanations are and things like that. So we've got workshops going on in Malaysia, on the Malaysian campus, and then there's 2 workshops here in Clayton, the 10 AM and the 1 PM. Clayton students, please do not switch workshops. Stick to the allocations, otherwise it'll all get very, very confusing. What are these workshops going to look like? Well, here's some examples of the sort of material you might see in these workshops. So week 2, we're going to be looking at road hierarchies. So, you know, there'll be an example to look at Fulton Road, and there'll be some various questions about that sort of stuff. And then here's some stuff from later weeks in the pedestrian and cycle stuff, where you might be doing an audit of the infrastructure and having a look. And so it's very hands-on, practical stuff. We're trying as much as possible to make it the sort of stuff that you would do in engineering practice. The exam itself, 50% of the mark, closed book, short answers, essays. Good luck with that, I suppose. Yeah. And of course we're running a photo competition as well during semester, so get out there, take some photos of some traffic stuff, make sure it's interesting, make sure you take it during this semester, and then tell us where is it, what's it about, why did you take it, and there's a prize of course as well. The last year's submissions are already posted on Moodle, so you can jump on there and have a bit of a look and get a feel for it. The first prize is a pretty spectacular photo. I think that's somewhere in Germany, and someone's pretty good at photography by the looks of things. But yeah, you can see that photo is very much looking at how the existing shared street space is being shared between transit and cars and pedestrians, and there's a lot going on in that photo. My office hours, Friday 11 till noon, and then 1 till 2. You can find me in room 122 in 22 Alliance Lane, which is building 69. It's part of the engineering, sort of civil engineering area, but you'll actually got to go through materials engineering to find me. Okay, that's about it for now. See you in class.